In previous videos, we've unpacked the 4 roles that a senior pastor can't delegate, but on today's video, we're going to walk through the 3 key roles that an executive pastor can't delegate. But before we get into the video, take a minute and hit the subscribe button below. Our goal is to help pastors grow healthy churches by guiding them through experiences that align vision, strategy, team, and action. We're here to help you get your church unstuck, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. The first key role of an executive pastor is making the vision actionable. In other words, executive pastors have to own the responsibility for closing the gap between vision and execution through strategy. While vision answers the question, where are we going next? A strategy answers, how are we actually going to make that a reality? Senior pastors need to clarify the vision and then release the how to their executive pastor. From there, it's the XP's job to organize the teams, systems, and deadlines to see the vision through. They need to manage the tension between delegation and micromanagement, maintaining organizational alignment while empowering their team to do the work. And it's also their job to keep the team's key initiatives and priorities moving forward alongside the execution of the day-to-day ministry. To do this, executive pastors have to have some certain traits. First of all, they need to be strategically gifted. They need to be wired to drive the creation and execution of organizational goals and priorities. Secondly, they need to be wired as an activator or implementer. They need to be able to lead strategy and execution in accomplishment of the vision. And third, they need to be organized and be a system builder. Things won't fall through the cracks because they've created systems for all of the different things that they have to juggle. The second key role of an executive pastor is driving the core initiatives. In other words, executive pastors own the responsibility for driving core initiatives to free the senior pastor to focus on the roles that only he or she can do. A great way to figure out if you're actually leading people or just managing people is by asking, are you out in front of your team? If you're not intentionally looking 5 steps ahead and driving future initiatives, they're probably not going to happen. And in order to stay ahead of your team, it's your responsibility to keep your head out of some of the details and focus on the big picture. Another key part of driving core initiatives is keeping the team focused and aligned, including the senior pastor. And here are 2 ways to keep the focus on completing key initiatives when the senior pastor continues to sometimes dream bigger dreams. First of all, you need to be the bridge between reality and possibility. Don't be a wet blanket on your senior pastor's dreams, but do help translate what their new ideas would require in terms of the team's energy and resources, including how that might impact the progress of other key initiatives that have already been identified. Secondly, help your pastor recognize momentum. Visionary people tend to thrive off of energy and momentum, which is what often attracts them to new ideas. Find ways to regularly communicate to your senior pastor the steps your team is taking toward fulfilling the strategy so that they can feel that sense of momentum too. Finally, the third key role in an executive pastor is leading a high-impact team. In other words, executive pastors own the responsibility for building and leading a staff team that embraces both health and performance. This could be the most important role an executive pastor does because the future impact of your church and the fulfillment of the vision God has given you is dependent on the kind of team that you build. Not paying attention to both health and high performance leads to low morale and can create a toxic culture. There are some clear danger signs to having an out of balance team. First of all, health is not an end in itself. Without the counterweight of high performance, the team could end up being strong relationally, but not making any kind of kingdom impact. Secondly, when the team puts all of the emphasis on performance at the expense of team health, the culture feels transactional, which leads to an unintentional culture of fear. When performance isn't counterbalanced with health, you can have a lot of people doing effective ministry to the loss and cooling of their own personal faith and walk with God. To summarize all of that, there are 3 characteristics of an effective executive pastor. First of all, they have a proven track record of developing people and achieving results through others. Secondly, they can drive a culture of both health and high performance. And third, they are a leader that staff will follow. Well, thanks for tuning into today's video. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out our content on the roles a senior pastor can't delegate. And if you found this video helpful and would like to see more like this in the future, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and visit us at theunstuckgroup.com.